everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, then a big hello, my name is Louise. So if you watched last Wednesday's video, then you would have seen my step-by-step guide on how to get an IEC visa. And today I'm going to talk about your arrival into Canada and what you need to bring to get into Canada with your IEC visa. So step number 1 and number 2 is very simple, very straightforward. I talked about it in last week's video, so I'm just going to briefly go over them just for you. So make sure you get a pen and paper at the ready as I'm chucking loads of information your way. So step number 1 is nice and easy. It's your passport. So make sure your passport is in date for the whole duration of your time you're in Canada. So if you're in Canada for the full 2 years of your IEC visa, then your passport needs to be in date for the whole 2 years as well. If it is not in date, so if it's only in date for 1 year, for example, they will only issue you a 1 year visa. So it is super important that your passport is in date for the whole time that you are in the country. Step number 2 is also pretty straightforward. Super easy. It's your POE letter, which is also known as your port of entry letter. You get given this on your final stage of the visa, the most exciting part. Make sure you print it off, you file it away, because this is definitely something that they are going to ask for. When I got to the border, the only thing that they asked me for was the POE letter. Out of all of these things, they only asked for this. So they are going to ask for it, so make sure you've got it, make sure it's not ripped or anything like that. Keep it in a little poly wallet and make sure you take it with you. So step number 3, we're going to go in a little bit more detail. It is your insurance. Now you do need insurance to enter the country. I'm just going to briefly talk over some points here because it is super important you have the right insurance. If you turn up to Canada without insurance, they will just turn you around and send you back home. And you don't want that after all of the hard work you've gone through with the visa. Now, the insurance can be expensive. In the UK, we have the NHS. So if you go into hospital, it's all paid for. When you move to Canada, you have to pay, obviously, for healthcare. So it's so important that you do have insurance. So it does sound expensive to start with, but if you got in trouble while you're in Canada, I'm sure it'll be a lot more money to get whatever you need done. It will be a lot more expensive than the insurance. So even though it is a very large amount of money in one lump sum, it is definitely worth it in the long run. To be honest, I've already used my insurance twice since I've been here and I've saved so much money already, so just keep that in mind. Also, your insurance has to be valid like your passport for the whole duration time that you're in Canada. So we're on an IEC 2-year work and holiday visa. So we got insurance out on the 26th of December 2019 and it's valid for 2 years, exactly the same as how long our visa is valid for as well. If your insurance is only valid for 1 year, then they'll only give you a 1-year visa. So please do not make that mistake thinking you're trying to save money and you'll just get another year out while you're over here. It's not worth it. They will just issue you a smaller visa, a shorter visa. So just make sure you get it for how long you are staying here. Now I'm just going to quickly talk about the website that we use. We use True Traveller just because that was the most popular website that we heard on the Facebook group. If you didn't watch last week's video, then I told everyone to go and follow the O Canada IEC discussion page on Facebook. It was super helpful for me and it still is, to be honest. So make sure you go and follow it over on Facebook. But this is the most popular insurance company on there and it's called True Traveller. I'll link it down below. Now on True Traveller, they have 3 different packages. It's kind of like a bronze, silver and gold. So the very first package is called a budget package. And then there's a medium package and then there's a gold package. Now we went for a budget package. Now one of the reasons we went for the budget package is because obviously of money. We don't have lots of money. We didn't prepare for Canada as much as we should have, if I'm gonna be honest. So we were just thinking of the easiest things to do, the cheapest things to do. So that's one reason we went for the budget package. The second reason we went for a budget package is because that we heard a lot of jobs, if you've got a full-time job, they do actually have benefits included. Now, obviously, we didn't know that we were definitely going to get into a company that would offer that. Spending a lot of money on gold insurance than getting a job that covers us, because we would have just wasted money. But you can definitely upgrade once you get over here. So we just paid the bare minimum, We could upgrade when we got here, but we were very, very lucky. We found a job that had benefits with both mine and Jake's work. Now, our budget insurance with True Traveller was £489 each. So yes, it does sound a lot of money, but like I said, I've already used my insurance and I've definitely saved on that already. And for 2 years, that is incredible if you think about it. But like I said, you do need to save for it because it's a very large amount of money at once. And that was only the budget one. Like the gold was over 1,000. But this was last year. It may have changed, prices may have gone up, so I do apologize. I'm just showing you what I got last year. So step number 4, which I talked about last week, is your proof of funds. Now, to enter the country, you may be asked to show the proof of funds. Now, to get into the country, you need 2,500 Canadian dollars per person. Now, in the current exchange rate, as I googled today, and today is October 2020, it is £1,455.78. So yeah, the dollar's really good at the minute. But you do need 2,500 in Canadian dollars each to enter the country. Now, I get this question a lot. You don't need it at the beginning of applying for your visa. So many people are asking me, do I need it in my savings when I apply? You don't. You need it when you land in Canada at the start of your visa. So we landed on the 26th of December. We needed 2,500 Canadian dollars each by the 26th of December. So you have a bit of time to save from when you first apply from your visa. This money can be in cash or it can be in cards. Now, if it is in your bank, then you need to print out a bank statement, and it has to be in date within 7 days of arriving to Canada. So if you arrived on the Monday, it needs to have been printed out in the week before the Monday. Now, if it was printed out before the week before, then it will be declined, and because you could have withdrawn that money, you could have put it in someone else's bank, you could have borrowed the money from somewhere. They need to see the full statement for the week, and that money needs to be in there. Like I said, it's 2,500 Canadian dollars, but if you exchange it back to pounds at the minute, it's about £1,455. Now, I'll tell you what me and Jake done. We took half cash and half card. So if I remember correctly, I think we took £500 in cash. We swapped it to Canadian dollars, but that's how much we budgeted in cash, and the rest was in our bank. And I also have a credit card that I did not use. It had a limit of £5,000 on, but I also printed out that statement as well, just to see if it would work as proof of funds. But they never asked me for the proof of funds, so I can't really answer that question for you. I took a picture of every statement of every bank card I have because I didn't want them to turn around and say that I didn't have enough money. So I just wanted to be super safe, and I printed a picture of every single bank statement, and I also had cash as well, but they never actually asked to see it. So step number 5 is proof of funds for a return flight or a return flight home. Now, it is impossible to book a flight 2 years in advance. I have tried it on Skyscanner just before this video to see if it works, and it doesn't work. So that means you need extra proof of funds. Now, this won't be in with your $2,500. It's got to be separate. So you've got to have enough money to say that you can get home back to the UK if you run out of money. So I would just keep about £200, which is probably about 350 to 380 Canadian dollars, in a separate account, or have it in savings named as flights, just to be super safe. So if they ask you how you're going to get back home if you've got no money, you've got a picture of that saying that that's going to be your flight home. They don't necessarily ask for this, but it is in the guidelines that you do have it just in case they do ask. So it is always best to have that money to one side. Step number 6 is flights and accommodation. Now, once you've got your POE letter, you have exactly 1 year to enter the country, or your visa will become denied and it will be gone, and you'll have to re-evaluate and reapply for your visa. So make sure you have booked a flight within that 1 year to get over there to activate your visa. Even if you fly back home again because you don't want to move exactly on that date, just make sure you book your flight to activate your visa within that 1 year. So like I said in my last video, if you didn't watch it, I got my POE letter on the 3rd of July 2019, which means I had to be in Canada by 3rd of July 2020 to activate my visa. Now, me and Jake did not know when we wanted to come over to Canada. So what we did is we went on Skyscanner, typed in London to Toronto and put it in a month. So you can actually look by month rather than by day. We started in December 2019, just looking at the cheapest day, and then we went down the months. We went to January, to February, to March, to April, etc, etc. And the cheapest month to travel back last year was in December. It was so cheap. When I say it was super cheap, we paid £162 for our one-way ticket from London straight to Toronto, which was just crazy. And that was on the 26th of December, so Boxing Day. And we couldn't find any flights nowhere near that price to fly over here, so that was the date that we chose. So we chose to activate our visa really early, near enough straight after we got it, basically, just a few months later. Now our friends are due to come and see us over New Year, if COVID is on our side, and the cheapest time that they found was also in December. They're due to fly out, I think, on like Boxing Day or the day after Boxing Day as well, because their return flight was 200 and something pounds. So it just must be a December thing. If you don't mind coming over to the cold straight away, which it is cold, and the snow is very exciting, then definitely book December, because it's definitely the cheapest. £162 for a one-way ticket. That's just amazing. We came with 5 suitcases as well, which was insane. We flew with WestJet, which is also our friends are flying for, so they just must be an easy, cheap airline. We did get told that WestJet's a really bad airline. They don't have TVs and they don't have food, but that was the old one. They've been renovated. Me and Jake were pleasantly surprised when we got on WestJet. The TVs were so much bigger than Virgin and British Airways, which we normally fly with. The food was really nice and it was constant. The drinks were constant. So I highly recommend WestJet myself, and it was super cheap. I just couldn't believe what we got for our price. Yeah, I highly recommend it. But definitely look on Skyscanner and make sure it's within the year that you got your POE letter. Another big thing, Canada is so big, so make sure you know where you want to move to. Just because you can fly into Toronto or BC or Alberta, and you need to know before you book your flights where you want to live, because you can't just say you're gonna book a flight to Toronto and then drive to BC. Well, you can, but it'll just take a very long time. So make sure you do your research. Me and Jake knew we wanted to be near Toronto and Niagara Falls, and that's why we found an Airbnb in the middle when we chose St. Catharines, and then we turned out to absolutely love it here, which is very fortunate. But make sure you do your research and make sure you know what you want out of living in Canada. If you want to be outdoorsy, if you want to be near the woods, and we wanted to be near the waterfalls, we wanted to be near the border. So where we live is perfect for us, but it might not necessarily mean perfect for you. So make sure you do your research. Canada's super big, and like I said, we chose to fly into Toronto because it was the biggest airport near where we wanted to live. And then driving from Toronto to our Airbnb, we took all the shortcuts. We looked around just to make sure that this was the best place for us, and we fell in love with it. We love it here. We don't think we're going to move anytime soon. In fact, I think we're going to stay here for a long time. So yeah, make sure you do your research. Once you've done your research, you know where you're flying into, make sure you book accommodation. Obviously book a hotel or Airbnb. We tend to found that Airbnbs were a lot cheaper because we wanted to stay there for a long period of time. Also keep in mind, hotel rooms don't have kitchens. Not all of them, motels do, but hotels don't. So we wanted a kitchen, we wanted a washing facility, so we chose an Airbnb. We booked it for a whole month. If you've been following our journey, you will know we only actually stayed there for 2.5 weeks because we found an apartment to move into. But it was nice to have the option to have it there for a month, just in case you didn't find a job, just in case you didn't find accommodation. So make sure you book your hotel or Airbnb. If it's your first time booking with Airbnb, you get £10 off, I think it is. And it was very good. We spent like £300 for the month, and normally a hotel room's £100 a night. So yeah, we saved a lot of money by going Airbnb. So I'm just going to do a very quick summary to end this video. Number 1, make sure your passport is in date for the whole duration you're in Canada. 2, make sure you've got your POE, your port of entry letter, printed off, ready to hand over to the officer. Number 3, make sure you have insurance for the whole time you're in Canada. we recommend True Traveller, the budget one. Step 4, make sure you have proof of funds, which is 2,500 Canadian dollars per person in cash or in your bank. If it is in your bank, make sure you have a bank statement valid in the last 7 days when you reach Canada. Point number 5, make sure you have proof of funds or a return and flight home booked to show them that you can exit the country if you don't have the funds to support you in Canada. And point number 6 is make sure you book your flights and your accommodation way in advance to get the best deals, and make sure you know where you want to move to. If you're watching this video, it means you're going through the process, and I definitely want to say best of luck to everyone going along the visa process. You will not regret it. We didn't regret it, and it's the best thing that we have ever done, and I wish you all the best on the visa process. Now, if you have any questions for me, leave it down below. I do Q&As quite regularly, and I'll be able to answer it in the next Q&A. Also, if you don't already, make sure you hit subscribe, because I do information videos a lot. Follow me over on Instagram, it's louisewarearmstrong, as if you want to keep up to date with what I'm doing over here in Canada. But I hope this video was useful for you guys. Next week I am going to be filming how much it costs to do an IAC visa, from all of the police certificate fees, insurance fees, flights. I'm going to put everything together to let you know how much it costs to apply for an IAC visa. And then the week after, I've got a very exciting video, a much requested video of how I'm going along my PR. It's a very requested video, and it's the process that I'm going down to get my permanent residency express entry visa, which is very scary at the minute. The reason I haven't brought it out any earlier is just because I am going through a lot with that visa at the minute, and I want to get the information right for you guys, just like I did with the IAC video. So make sure you are subscribed if you want to watch myself and Jake's journey. Every Monday I upload a day off vlog, and it's always something exciting that we're doing in Canada. So yeah, thank you so much for the support, guys, and I will see you next week. Bye.